Good evening and thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Whitney Ward. Mark is off tonight. We begin right now with the latest developments in the Pac-12's future. The conference is now suing the Mountain West for a poaching penalty totaling more than $40 million. Today, KREM 2 did obtain the more than 100-page lawsuit. KREM 2's Cody Proctor has been reading through those pages and has more on the Pac-12's argument tonight.
Well, the conference filed the suit in federal court in the Northern District of California. It alleges the potential penalty is unenforceable under antitrust law. Now, this all stems from the Pac-12 adding Boise State, Fresno State, Colorado State, and San Diego State. Now, when it comes to the money, according to the Associated Press, the Mountain West has exit fees upwards of $17 million for departing schools. Those fees can increase depending on how much advance notice a school gives. In addition, the Mountain West put in poaching fees in their football scheduling agreement with both Oregon State and Washington State since they're the only current Pac-12 members this season. That fee starts at $10 million. It then increases by an increment of $500,000 for every additional school the Pac-12 adds from the Mountain West. With 4 already on board, the total comes to $43 million. The lawsuit says the severe exit fees the Mountain West already has in place for their members would more than compensate the conference for member schools that leave. Instead, the lawsuit argues the Mountain West forced the struggling conference to agree to the poaching penalty, which they claim was in part, quote, designed to limit the Pac-12's ability to compete with the NWC for years into the future. Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez also made a statement today. We just received that within the last 30 minutes, saying she's responsible for protecting her conference and the Pac-12's taking advantage of their willingness to help them out. She also says in part, quote, at no point in the contracting process did the Pac-12 contend that the agreement that it freely entered into violated any laws. To say that the Mountain West was taking advantage of the Pac-12 could not be farther from the truth. The Mountain West Conference wanted to help the Pac-12 schools and student athletes, but not at the expense of the Mountain West. Now, this is a precarious time for the Pac-12. Both Washington State and Oregon State are in the first year of a 2-year NCAA grace period in which they're able to operate the Pac-12 as a 2-team conference. By 2026, they need to have at least 8 members in order to be recognized as a conference by the NCAA and CFP. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
Cody, thank you very much. We are also able to confirm that Utah State just committed to the Pac-12 conference, bringing the total now to 7 schools. And there are talks to possibly even bring in Gonzaga to the Pac-12. According to the Associated Press, the Pac-12 is still talking with the basketball powerhouse, but no deal has been made yet. In other news, a Sandpoint man is behind bars after threatening to kill former President Donald Trump. KREM 2's Christian Garza has the latest court documents and tells us what led up to his arrest. Christian?
U.S. District Court documents say Warren Jones Crazy Bull made a call to the former president's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida on July 31st, saying he was en route to kill him. Court documents say that on top of the close to 10 calls to the resort, Crazy Bull made several posts on Facebook under the name of Tracy Jones, including one of a self-produced video that also threatens Trump. Court documents say that he made the post in Idaho and was arrested a day later in Montana after agents interviewed him. He says that he was chief of the Rosebud tribe and is royalty. So I actually called the Rosebud Sioux tribe in South Dakota to confirm that while Crazy Bull is enrolled with them, the enrollment office says that he isn't and has never been a chief and is not royalty. Crazy Bull also told agents that he blames both Trump and John F. Kennedy Jr. for broken treaties that resulted in the loss of his land. In the interview, it says that Crazy Bull told agents that he has been admitted for psychiatric care in the past, but that he was not on any sort of medication at the time of the interview. Crazy Bull also told agents that he never intended to kill former President Trump, but rather that his posts were just meant to get law enforcement's attention. Regardless, Crazy Bull is now facing a federal charge of threats against a former president, which is punishable with a $250,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison. Crazy Bull is currently on a U.S. Marshal hold at the Kootenai County Jail, and his trial is scheduled to begin on October 28th. Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Christian, thank you very much. In the past, Spokane city leaders have looked to Houston, Texas for solutions to the homeless crisis. Now the people behind those ideas paid the Lilac City a visit to discuss options to reduce homelessness. Last year, as part of our Boomtown series, I traveled to Houston to learn more about their work and to see if those efforts could be duplicated and work here in Spokane. Houston has permanently housed more than 30,000 previously homeless people just in the last 10 years. Anise Parker was Houston's mayor from 2010 to 2016. She helped create several initiatives to get people off the streets. Today at the Davenport Grand, she talked about those efforts in a room packed with city leaders, law enforcement, and more.
Shelters are not housing. Shelters are a temporary solution. You wouldn't want to be in a shelter. There's no privacy, there's no ability. You can't take your pets, you can't take your stuff. And if you have almost nothing, what you do have becomes very precious to you.
Officials there say they prioritized placing people into permanent housing instead of just a temporary fix. And that move reduced homelessness in Houston by more than 60%. Now, according to the mayor's administration, they focused on homeless initiatives. If you'd like to watch our full Boomtown report on finding homeless solutions in Houston, make sure to turn on our streaming platform, KREM 2+. It is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. All right, bringing it back here at home, switching gears to talk about a weather impact alert day for tomorrow. Strong winds returning to the inland northwest and elevating our fire risk. So we want to get right to it with our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo.
Well, when it comes to the next couple of days, it's a big change. Today, easily the nicest day in at least the next week or two, 3 or 4. Anyway, it's 85 degrees and sunny as we currently speak, and it's not just 85 degrees here in Spokane. It's 83 in Coeur d'Alene, 90 in Ritzville, 91 in Lewiston, 90 down in Walla Walla, widespread 80s across much of the region. And while tomorrow looks quite similar in terms of temperature, it will be much different because of wind, blowing dust, rain eventually, and cloud cover, all accompanying a potent front that's moving through the region. That is going to be strong enough that we have wind advisories and blowing dust advisories for much of Washington, Idaho, and even into Montana now. High wind warnings in parts of Montana because this is looking like it's a big weather maker. There it sits off the coast and it's pretty strong. Here's our boundary right about there. I'm terrible at drawing ahead of time, but there you go. That's our boundary, and as it moves in, what we will first see is the wind. I think wind picks up tomorrow morning, later in the morning, and then showers develop in the afternoon. Those showers take us through the evening before more widespread rain hits Wednesday night. It clears out by Thursday, but we go from 85 tomorrow to just 70 on Thursday.